Welcome back to Nick Lenz Doctor Who Reviews. This is episode number 10. Yes, I finally got the episode 10 for this series. Yeah, this one I'm reviewing another Patrick Troughton story. This is the Moonbase, released in 1966, if I'm not mistaken. No, 67. Yep. Now, like in the case of the last one I discussed, which was last one I discussed for Patrick Troughton, which was Invasion. This one's also missing episodes. Yep, this one is. Yeah, this one's missing the first and third episode, though I was able to watch it thanks to an reconstruction of the thing. Overall, when it comes to Cyberman stories, this is the second ever one they ever did. Yeah, that's quite interesting, though. This comes yeah, this is overall also the fourth second Doctor story ever released. And it only been just a few stories since the last the Cybermen appear. This one is famous for their redesign. Yes, the redesign they have for this particular version, which, from what I can tell from watching Invasion, from what I remember from Tomb of the Cybermen, and a little bit from what I remember from Wheel in Space, they maintained this design. Yes, I would say they maintained this design, from what I can tell, up until like their reappearance during the Fourth Doctor's era, Revenge of the Cybermen. Yep. Which they have a slight upgrade there. Not by much, but mostly put, yeah, for like 4 straight stories, the Cybermen have got a brand new look. Now, in the case of this one overall, when it comes to Cybermen stories, this one is notorious, basically, I would say, because of some of the acting here and some of the direction. Like, there's one episode, I think in episode 4, it's like, oh, track it. And he's like, oh, we can't. I have to watch it. I'm like, what? Like, it's like basically watch this. This comes to episode 4, mind you. It's like, you watch this episode, it's almost like, I'm sure they get that like correct, but is the scene not matching what their words are saying? Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. And like, oh, we have this mysterious board which monitors webbing, which monitors the weather. Okay. Now, in the case of Jamie himself, this comes not long after his debut. I'd say within just 2 episodes after his debut. And from what I heard, they were initially planning on having him after Highlanders. He was simply just added because, well, the guy was popular and they liked the character. So, they're in the future. Yes, the future. One of many times the Doctor goes to the future. Year 2070. Yep, 2070, this particular one. And this is actually probably the first time ever in Doctor Who where the Doctor goes to the moon. As far as I know, I think this might be the only time he goes to the moon. Yeah, that's quite interesting, the fact they did this. Now, the thing is, when it comes to the moon itself, now the Apollo moon landing didn't happen for another couple years, so this is probably, I would probably say just after the Apollo 10, like, one of the, I think it was either 8, 9, or 10, one of those 3, where they do one of the orbits around the moon. Yeah, because Ben mentions in here, Ben's his story, Ellen Polly. He mentions that, oh yeah, this is the moon, not Mars, because I think going to Mars. They eventually go to Mars when they go meet the Ice Warriors in the following season of the show. Excuse me. Now, for the second ever Cyberman story, like in the case of the first one, it's only 4 episodes. And if you're curious, though, is the follow-up one, Tomb of the Cybermen, this long? Nope, Tomb of the Cybermen's 8 episodes. Yeah, that's something interesting. It's like with the first 2, they're about 4, but 3rd, 4th, and 5th, they're really, really long because Cybermen are exciting. Though in the case of Invasion, it was kind of a surprise it was a Cyberman story. It was since that here, we revealed the Cybermen's here via 10 minutes into the first episode, when they hear that, oh yeah, they're monitoring their communications in a very somewhat lazy way and doing it. I mean, now in case if you want my opinion about this particular suit, yes, the second story I've discussed this particular suit for the Cyber. It's a great look for them. Yes. It keeps a similar Mondasian look for them. Though, there's no mention about the gold being weakness. I think that was something established later on. By the way, how did they beat several of the Cybermen? Put chemicals on their plastic front. Yeah, that's how they beat these damn things. But in the finale, it's basically the device there after that basically is their downfall. Hmm? Yeah, so the Doctor and the crew arrive on the moon, where they think it's Mars, but it's actually the moon. So they go out in the little spacewalk and wear these goofy looking outfits. Yes, they seriously wear these damn things. Where they have goggles, and according to the Doctor, they kept these in a chest on board. I'm like, that's interesting. Oh, I should point out something about the previous story. I don't know if I'll cover that one, but that one is notorious for being really, really bad. It's a story that no one wanted found, and yet it was found. It was a story that basically should never have been found. Like, you should have found like one of the other stories they're missing, like maybe this one. Nope, we found Underwater Menace. Like, they probably should have never mentioned the fact that, because I've seen clips of Underwater Menace. It's not that good of a story at all, and it's only the second Doctor story. Highlander's a lot better than that. Yep. So I love how the anime is basically where they animate the Cybermen. Yeah, it looks so cool. I love the style. I mean, yes, it's not them in the same studio who did the Invasion. The Invasion was the first one. This was actually the fifth. Yes, fifth incomplete story they actually completed. Mm-hmm. And this was done by Planet 55, which is basically Big Finish. Well, that's technically what this one is. Mm-hmm. Now, of the ones I've covered that are basically restoration, aside from this one, I've also covered Power to the Daleks, the Faceless Ones. I didn't do Web of Fear because my copy didn't have it. And even though apparently that this one apparently is going to get one, but it's not been released yet. I've also covered the Invasion, which was the very first one they ever did. Mm-hmm. And Faceless Ones was the most recent one they did. Mm-hmm. Yes, it was the most recent one they did. Now, do I have a problem with illustrations? No, not necessarily. It's actually pretty interesting. Now, if you're curious though, what episode was missing for this one? Episodes 1 and 3. Everybody thinking, really? The first episode's not here? Yeah. So, the illustration, like, wow, it makes it look so freaking good here. I mean, yes, Power to Daleks basically was accused me of being a bit stiff. This one is really good. Pacing is done really well in here. Though I didn't like how some of the direction going here. So, there's a device known as a government. By the way, Jamie is knocked out partway into episode 1. So, he pretty much spends a lot of the time unconscious or just lying. Or basically, oh, it's the Phantom Piper. He thinks a Cyberman is a Phantom Piper. Now, look at Ben Pollock know who the Cybermen are. I mean, they just freaking announced them like a few stories back. Yeah, of course, they kind of just before the Doctor generated for the first time. Yep. Though everything chronologically, like when it comes to decades, this is roughly like almost 100 years after the first time that the Doctor first encountered the Cybermen when it comes to Earthlings counting them. Excuse me. Yes. Though with next one, Tomb of the Cybermen, they actually go to another planet and instead of around Earth. Now pretty much it's this one. 10th planet. Along with like I would say a small chunk of Cybermen stories are basically focused around Earth. I would say the only ones that basically are not near Earth are Wheel in Space, Tomb of the Cybermen, Revenge of the Cybermen. Well, that one actually you could count as near, but they don't really say. But you don't really see Earth in that one. So they went to Graviton for some reason. It's not exactly fully clear on exactly why. Also, the Doctor comes across, apparently there's an epidemic going on at this Moonbase, where it causes the basically black veins appear with his faces and arms. In case you're curious though, like who caused this stuff, it was the Cybermen. Yep, just so they can control the Graviton. Because it's apparently a piece of technology they don't have. Okay. Let's see, what else is there? Well, Polly is still used like she normally is. The coffee girl. Obviously, yeah, get the coffee. Most women basically would not like that. But this is Polly's normal thing. So there's that. She basically makes coffee. Though sometimes makes tea. Also, they did figure out how the epidemic is spread. Sugar. And you're probably thinking, really? Sugar. Yep, sugar. So they eventually found that they don't exactly cure anybody per se of the virus. They do stop the Cybermen in this story, but the epidemic is definitely stopped per se. Yeah, it's stopped. They do stop it. It only affects like maybe 3 or 4 people, which, given the size of this Moonbase, you can say this whole thing could fit about 60 people, I'd say. Yes. But you don't see many people here. You see I would say about 5 or I would say a good about 10 people, I'd say, in this whole story. Yeah. And also at one point the dome is somehow breached. People are thinking, how the heck has that happened? How is the dome breached? Well, apparently the Cybermen used one of their guns, yes, one of their guns, to blow a hole in the dome. How big of a hole? About this freaking big. How do they seal it? First they try a coat. That works temporarily. And then they switch it off to, like, a tea tray. Yes, seriously, a tea tray seals this damn thing. And the Doctor figured, oh yeah, this is one of the Cybermen's guns basically responsible for this. Which, yeah, that's a pretty good explanation for it. I would definitely buy that. The Cybermen basically, yeah, definitely that they did it, but saying it was their guns, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Also, they tried to break into the place again. This time with this humongous laser, which bounces out the base because of the graviton device, which acts as a force field. Oh, and how to defeat them? Oh yeah, they also, I should point out though, this is 60, so they have, the Cybermen basically have, well, because this is very early Cybermen, they get flying saucers. Despite the fact later on, they get much better looking ships. Like, I think like Invasion looks a lot better. I like it just better there. But yeah, you even see, like, you look very closely, you even see the tiny little fishing wire for the flying saucer ships. I am not kidding about that. They seriously, like, I would have thought though, when they brought this DVD, they would have found a way with HD to simply just use like a little marker to rub that out. But nope, they did. We actually see it. Well, at least I saw it anyways. Oh, and how to defeat the Cybermen? By pointing out on the moon surface and have the Cybermen, including their spaceships, yes, their spaceships, float off the planet and fly away. And that apparently beats the Cybermen. I'm like, okay, I would say that would be a temporary solution. But given the fact that this is the second time they encounter the Cybermen, I'd say it's fine to defeat. Yes. But overall, for me anyways, when it comes to the story, it's definitely interesting to say the least. One of the best things about this particular story is the set of the Moonbase. It looks really good. Yeah. Despite the fact this is from the 60s, and you can see that I would definitely say a lot of money went into basically making the set look really good. Yeah, this weather some of stuff looks really cheap in this episode. I would say a couple of effects are basically cheap. The Cybermen look really good. The only thing I didn't like though was the future weird wear that the future outfits that the guys in 2070 wore. Like this one guy looks like he wears an ascot that looks like it's more like a tie. and I like wearing t-shirts. I'm like, what the heck is this? I get the fact that whenever sci-fi does predict the future, they always give people in the future weird clothing. Oh my gosh, so freaking bizarre clothing. I mean, aside from the hokey the direction some of this episode is, and the actual like clothing per se, it's a good story. Definitely, it's got definitely good pacing with it. I definitely think 4 episodes was definitely enough given how the story is structured. Yeah, it definitely didn't feel rushed, not at all. I think they did a good job with it, and I'm definitely looking forward to when I get a chance to get my hands on it, the 2-Minute Cybermen, which might be the last one I get on DVD because Moonbase is on DVD. I do kind of own it. Not Moonbase, Wheel in Space, but it's on the Lost in Time DVD. Yeah, because they have not done amorous restoration that one. This one will require a lot of episodes, yeah, because there's technically 2 that survive. Yes, there are 2 that have survived. Yep, episodes, I think it's like 3 and 6 have survived. So they have to do it for 4 episodes. Yep. They have done it so far where they've restored like 2 full stories. Yeah, they did it for Power of the Daleks and Macra Terror. Yeah, these 2 were 2 full stories. Well, they also did the Fury of Deep, which that one I will probably get my hands on eventually. Yeah, and surprisingly, Abominable Snowman, only 1 story. 1 episode of this one is actually in the archives. The rest are not. And this one has not had any restoration. Well, Fear is getting one, but not this one, surprisingly. I don't really know why. Yeah, it's kind of weird. But yeah, not much else to say about the Moonbase. It's good, but it's a bit hokey. Okay, so that's it for this review. Stay tuned for my next review, which will be 2 straight comic corners. And that probably it for today, because I don't think I'll have time to do the other 2 anime I want to do, which would be Shaman King and How Not the Summon Demon Lord. And looking up right now, as of right now, Friday is open when it comes to anime. The reason being, well, unless of course somehow that, how should I put this? I'm not sure exactly when that Miscavige Dragon Maid is going to be released. It could be Friday. Who knows? That might take a Friday, but as of right now, Friday is free, so is Saturday. Yep. So after I do the 2 videos tomorrow for anime for How Not the Same Deal and Shaman King, that'll be pretty much it for until Sunday. So here's the next video for 2 comic corners. Bye.